Hi, this is Not America's Sweetheart Davienne, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is ZPB, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is Clay Wilson, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox. I am your host, James J. Along with me, as always, Scooter Dust.
Good evening.
And it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the leader of the Three Finger Nation, Clay Wilson. How are you, Clay?
Whoa. That's a good introduction. How's it going, guys?
Well, good. How are you, man?
Doing good, man. Actually, just got off of wrestling training. This has been it's been pretty hectic, obviously, COVID times. I'm pretty sure you guys already know the gist of everything going on. But it's pretty crazy. But no, just keeping on with wrestling. What's going on with you guys?
Doing the same thing. Where can we find you on social media as well?
So social media, you can mostly find me on Instagram, actually. It's at the Clayton Wilson. I post just mostly now training videos, and just some of my recent matches that I just had out in British Columbia. Yeah, it's kind of weird, just kind of wrestling, monthly, but it's going okay, I guess.
And
Awesome.
could you tell us about the wrestling scene in Canada right now?
So wrestling scene out in Canada, it's very sparse. As you know, I currently live in Niagara Falls, Ontario. So the wrestling shows that we cannot host any people for indoor events. We're really limited to 10 people for inside indoors, 25 people outside. But it's with colder weather, it's kind of hard to house outdoor shows. So right now, yeah, absolutely, being snow and everything. Yeah, so there's only a few shows that I know that are still currently going out on the West Coast, and there's one promotion that I know of on the East, that's Kaizen, that's still doing shows that I know of, but I'm not sure because there's new lockdowns that just happened in Canada. It's the numbers are going up. Like, I'm pretty sure your guys around your area is going crazy right now, eh?
Yep, I am. I'm in New York. James is in California. And for our listeners, when Clay mentions West Coast, he's talking about British Columbia and Vancouver, in that area.
Yeah, around there. Yeah, just so last weekend, I just came from what is it from was it 4 days. I was there for 365 Pro Wrestling in located in Campbell River, BC, and I was also there for 2 days at the training facility at Pro Wrestling Academy, that's hosted by Mike Bescher. The academy is really great, lots of awesome kids. And then I was able to come back here. I currently train in Hamilton, Ontario, but yeah, so kind of for wrestling schools, it's kind of pretty much locked down. Yeah, I don't know what's the scoop on your guys. What's going on in California and New York?
Well, California and Los Angeles, to be specific, just set a record for most cases of corona in one day. So we're beating we're beating New York. Take that.
Just barely. There are indie shows have been making their way back. Unfortunately, now we are also restricted to 10 people or less at private gatherings.
Yikes! Oh man, that's brutal, man. Oh man,
So,
yeah. Go ahead, James.
no, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, it's kind of sucks that wrestling's kind of almost been put in a hiatus. I mean, there's kind of wrestling shows here and there, but I kind of like using social media more because it's actually get a chance to talk to you guys, James and Scooter, because it's kind of a big bond because like we all like to talk about wrestling and how much we miss it right now. So it's kind of cool, to just kind of discuss things and how things are going in your guys' end. So it's kind of neat to know what shows are happening, especially out in the States too.
Absolutely. And we're just one big wrestling family at this point.
Yeah.
Um, and you are our first guest from up north. Uh, so it is interesting to see what's happening wrestling wise in Canada. It kind of seems
Yeah.
like you are facing the same issues that we're facing down here as well.
Yeah. I mean, like like compared like the States to Canada, I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference going on. You're down in the States. I know you guys host more shows frequently. I just see it all over social media, and I just kind of wish I was kind of down there, being able to perform. But kind of with the restrictions and limitations, it prevents me from traveling to go down to the States, and which kind of sucks. But yeah, there's a lot of good wrestling down in the States. Kind of want to kind of be at least part of. So
Mhm.
you guys got it good down there.
No, it kind of seems like, we've had a couple interviews so far, and it seems like what you're doing is kind of what everybody else is doing, which is a once or twice, one or two shows a month. Well, obviously, uh, you competed, um, you as well, weekly, even daily. So, what is it like for you to, go from wrestling to all this space in between and then only wrestling once a month?
Well, it was in March. All of a sudden, it just kind of put to a halt. No one really knew when wrestling was going to be coming back. Some people just thought, oh, like coronavirus is going to last probably like a month or two, then we'll be back. But no, like it's been like really, really stressful, especially for a lot of promoters, because a lot of the promoters, especially out here in Ontario, like they're just dying to get content out. And currently, like there's a handful of promotions that are running closed events. That's only going to be filmed with COVID restrictions in mind, and we're going to be releasing content on YouTube. That's with different various promotions, but we are trying to make as much of it as we can. It's just a really unfortunate thing for everybody, just to have wrestling, and then just nothing, almost.
I can
Mhm.
imagine.
Yeah.
And you know, you're wrestling in close sets right now, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much wrestling in close sets in Ontario. Excuse me, in Ontario right now. So, yeah, I just wrestled in Barrie, Ontario, which is about it's about 3 hours north from where I live. I'm actually really close um, to the border in Buffalo. Um, just being able to watch the scene kind of from across the river. It's it's kind of good that you guys still have some wrestling shows going on there. I just wish that Ontario could have some more shows, kind of like that. That'd be awesome. So what's like the scene down in like New York? Like what are some of the guys that you
Ooh.
kind of watch out for, Scooter?
Oh, well, it's very interesting because I am a former indie worker myself for the NYWC New York Wrestling Connection under Mikey Whipwreck and Pat Buck.
Nice.
Um, they have been doing shows as well. There's also a couple of other promotions up along the Northeast as well. New England Championship Wrestling, Northeastern Wrestling as well. Specifically in New York City, there isn't that much anymore.
No, not even Create a Pro.
Yes, Creative Pro has also been shut down. I did some work with them in January of 2019 in a Creative Pro versus Impact show, and of course uh, with Brian now working in Impact.
Kurt Hawkins. But
Yeah, there's no really left at the moment to run the school on a regular basis.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So yeah, it's and there's also VPW, which also happens to be right down the block from where my sister lives out on Long Island. My nephew, big fan of that. He's actually was working for them as a volunteer ring boy. Yeah, they did shows at the VFW there. But in terms of live shows in New York, it's a no man's land.
Oh man, dude, I feel for you. Oh man, I just kind of wish we all kind of pull through this pandemic, and then hopefully we can get back on track with wrestling shows.
absolutely.
Yes.
So, going back to the close set, obviously you're wrestling in front of people before that. How does it play into your psychology of having a match with no crowd?
It's it's I don't know. It's really bothersome. As far as wrestling goes, we wrestle to entertain a crowd. We wrestle to please people who've come in to take their mind off things, whatever it may be. They pay a ticket, and we try to do our best to entertain. And since we don't have that, it's hard to perform for just cameras, and we get no reaction. There's nobody. There's only probably two cameramen, if at all. There's probably a sound guy, maybe an editor on the side, but it's really difficult to create content when it's geared towards a live audience. When you don't have a live audience, it's kind of just a little bit condescending, and just everyone's psychology is now geared towards just more action, more wrestling, like kind of just more moveset, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. I just being able to wrestle in front of a live audience, I can't describe the feeling. It's like probably one of the most genuine reactions, and you get a good feel for it. Whether if you're a face, a heel, even a referee or announcer, like you still get that energy and the vibe from the crowd, and that's something that we all kind of like get a feel for.
Unless, of course, the boys in back tell you, don't be charismatic, like they told me when I was a ring announcer, because they were afraid I would steal the spotlight. Just saying.
Well, aren't we all trying to upshow everyone?
Oh boy! If I told you what went on in a New York locker room of an indie promotion, oh boy!
Hey man, we all try to do our best up here. Like I haven't heard that ever. It's kind of weird to say, like, don't be charismatic. I mean, that's kind of like what we try to do. We try to push ourselves with characters, and we also try to push ourselves as a performer. We want to be as the best as we can, right? And we could entertain that audience.
Absolutely.
But man, like, yeah, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be too charismatic. I mean, unless you were screaming and doing cartwheels, then yeah, that's a little bit over the top for a ring announcer.
This was 11 or so, no, 9, 10 years ago. 10 years ago roughly and whatnot. I was training, and it was going to lead to a storyline with someone and whatnot, but that's neither here or there. I would like, let's see if we can uplift this a little bit more. Having viewed a lot of your matches, I see a common theme in the comedy spot.
Which comedy spot are you talking about?
For example, in your match against Super K on October 26th, you called last year, yeah. You called for the 619, and it was almost as if you intentionally knew you weren't actually going to be able to hit it. There were also spots where you were saying, "Oh, my knee hurts. I need to sit down." You were doing all those things that interacting with the crowd, getting them to really hate you. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever heard the F word more when being chanted towards you, and that's a huge compliment.
I appreciate it, man.
Did those moments, those types of spots, those moments of comedy evolve naturally out of you as you continued your career, or was it a case of trying it and see what sticks to the wall?
It's I guess you could say it's a little bit of both. I mean, starting off in wrestling, I mean, you don't know what the crowd's gonna like. You don't know what the crowd's gonna hate, depending upon what your character is. I like. I'm pretty sure when you started off, you try to do some creative input or try to act on something to make the crowd react. But as you go on in wrestling, you decide that some of the things that you just randomly throw at the wall doesn't work, and then you just play on how the crowd feels. You just kind of like surveil what the audience is doing, and you kind of go about your match, and then you play on it. It's kind of like it's almost really natural. Like I know you're saying the match with Super K, like everything that doing now, I try to do as natural as possible. Trying to pre-plan. I don't like to pre-plan. I'll be honest. It's just going in there with a fresh mind and being able to engage the crowd just on a whim. That's what really engages the crowd, and that's what really gets them going. I'm pretty sure you've figured that out, Scooter,
Yes.
and you too, James, as well. By the way, I haven't heard from James in like 50 minutes. Where the hell did you go?
I'm here. I'm just letting let Scooter ask his question, and you answer.
All right, all right.
No, I got up to get a glass of water. No, I'm joking.
You're killing me, man.
You said that you like to call things in the ring, more of a shoot style. Would that have to do anything with Tracy Smothers making a trip up there to teach a class?
Ah, I was part of that class. Yeah, Tracy Smothers. I have nothing but nice things to say about him. He like you could ask anyone in wrestling who has had an experience with him. One of the kindest, genuine people I've like you could ever meet in wrestling. Like Tracy, you could talk to about anything. You could talk to him about wrestling. You could talk to him about how the day is going. He was such a nice, genuine person and would like take the time out of his schedule to just have a friendly conversation with you because he was a down to earth guy. I mean, yeah, like as far as like Tracy doing his seminar, he was really old school. Like really, like he talked about like getting into health and fitness and taking care of your body. That was the big thing that he talked about, taking care of your body, because he's done some like before he passed away. He stressed about like taking bad bumps and having it damage his body, and just saying like, yeah, just be very careful about how you wrestle, because it might just shorten your career, either by a few days or a few years even. That was a big thing that I took away from Tracy. Super nice guy though.
I
Right.
imagine it was difficult to, obviously, his passing not too long ago. Um, you also, before getting into the ring, did some referee work as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you maybe tell us a time when you unintentionally got into the action?
Uh, um, I don't have a memory of unintentionally getting into the action. Actually, well, there was one time. It was uh, the main event for PWA. It was Eric Carney and Addy Starr. Great match, by the way. I was the referee for that, and there was a moment where Eric needed a belt, not the belt they were fighting for, but they needed
The
my
kind that holds
belt.
up pants.
Eric came over to me and said, "Give me your belt." So I had to. I unbuckled, and he ripped it off, and well, Addy ripped it out of his hands and used it as a weapon. But it was pretty good moment. It was actually a really good match. Um, yeah, so like being a referee, if anyone wants to get into wrestling, I would say do everything. I've done a little bit of announcing. I've done bell ringer. I've done stage crew. I've done backstage hand. Being a referee and now being a wrestler, it's a big experience. And for you to truly appreciate wrestling, I think doing a little bit of everything, and yes, being a referee, it goes a long way too.
Yeah, a friend of mine that I trained with, I started out in this business, Nick Bonanno, was a referee for the most part, went out to Hollywood, California to be a referee there, and now he's the head booker for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I did not know
that's
that.
really good. Well, kudos to him.
Yeah. Now, most independent wrestlers, you've achieved something that most of them only dream of. You've performed on pay-per-view. How would you compare the experience of wrestling on pay-per-view to, let's say, a house show or a TV taping?
Performing on pay-per-view, I've wrestled on the iPay-per-view for NSW, which obviously it's live. There's certain rules. There's no's. Sorry. What I meant to say was there's rules that you cannot break. Obviously, swearing is a huge thing. Don't like it's, don't obviously don't swear. Obviously, you have there's keep it professional, and try to perform to the best of your ability. But that goes with any case, in terms of either wrestling in a house show, a TV taping, or an iPay-per-view. And I have wrestled for a TV taping as well for Rogers. That's I'm not sure if you guys get Rogers down in New York or California.
As in the Rogers Center?
As in like the Rogers Center.
I don't believe we do.
I can't say that I have.
So yeah, like Rogers, they have their own TV channel, and occasionally they'll do like local events. And we had a local event TV taping come to Guelph, Ontario, and I was really fortunate enough to have a match with Alien Habanero, who's been wrestling in Ontario for like 20 plus years, which is like crazy. And he's still going on with wrestling, and man, just the atmosphere between like going from like pay-per-view to TV taping to house show. Um, there's a lot less stress when you work at a local house show, and there's a lot more stress induced things, and timing. Timing is a huge thing as well. Trying to keep your times in.
Right. We touched on it a little bit earlier. Um, Wrestling outside in Canada. How how does that work exactly? How cold are you before you go into the match? How cold are you during the match? And how cold are you after the match?
The last outside show I did um, was in October, uh, beginning of October. The weather was actually the weather we have up here. It's not so different from like New York, or even in the
Yeah.
even in what is it, the Midwest there. We pretty much get the same weather as you guys do. I mean,
It's hard
when
to
people
say.
I know when
Uh,
people think of like Canada, people think of like, oh, as soon as you get up to Canada, it's snow. Well, you like obviously like in December, like you get snow everywhere. I'm pretty sure you guys get snow in California as well.
No, we do not. It's in December we get 80-degree heat.
What?
and smog. Can't
Yes.
forget about smog.
And smog. Oh, I
Yes.
was thinking about Northern California, like Anaheim.
I've been in Anaheim. There was never snow.
Really?
San Diego, Anaheim, Los
You
Angeles.
you got to
Soft.
go towards the Washington,
Yeah.
Oregon border.
Yeah, because like, what is it? Around summertime, like we get like 89-degree heat, and like for you to get snow, you gotta go way up north. Like you gotta go up northern Quebec, or even northern Manitoba. And then you start getting into the territories where you're just getting ice and snow completely. But yeah, like then the weather obviously changes a few months. But right now we've like outside, like there's no snow. Like we're just waiting on snow to come in. Um, but yeah, it's like oh yeah. So getting back to wrestling outside, it's fine as long as you're wrestling in the summertime. Uh, because like yeah, wrestling outside, it's kind of different as well. It's not something that we normally do out in Canada, because we could, obviously, you don't want to take into consideration like you might have rain, or it's gonna be an extra windy day, right?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, what's the weather like down in California right now? Is it sunny?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's 5:30 and it's pitch black. And but no, we had a warm like 75 temperature day. Last week we
Oh
had
man.
around 60, 70-degree weather. Um,
Damn.
but yeah, that doesn't last, unfortunately.
Damn. I'm jealous.
Scooter, you have a question?
All right. I think maybe we can break into some of the humor questions I had. As a Canadian, and I have to ask this, where in your area of Canada can you get the best poutine? Because I love poutine.
You love poutine?
I love it.
So we do have a chain. in Ontario. I'm not sure if they're all over Canada, but it's called Smokes Poutinery. We have smokes pretty much everywhere. We've got one in Niagara Falls, which where I live in. We have it another city over called St. Catharines, about 15-minute drive. There's another one there. There's loads of poutine places in Toronto. Loads of poutine places. I mean, there are some bad poutine places, and then you got your good poutine places. You just honestly, it's just one Google search away. It's it's not hard to make fries, cheese curds, and gravy. It's a pretty
Yeah.
simple dish.
Are you telling me you make a mean poutine, Clay?
I you know what I last poutine I made, I did a horrible job, and I never made poutine ever again. Oh man, God,
Uh,
have you? So, what's the best poutine place in New York?
there is a place in New York City on on Second Avenue and West 7th Street in Manhattan. Oh God, and I can't remember the name of it now. I used to go to it after when I used to be in theater. I'd stop off like 3 in the morning there because they were famous for their fries, but they were more famous for their sauces because they had
Nice.
30 different sauces, and they would make they had a poutine on the menu, and it was palm. I think it was called Le Pomme Frites. The French word for
Nice.
French fries. But
Oh man, dude, that sounds so good. Oh jeez. You guys get, sorry, James, you get poutine out in California or no? You just call it gravy and fries.
Just call it gravy and fries.
Call it gravy and fries.
I'm,
Oh man,
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
you're killing me here, man.
But no, I have had recently gravy fries, and I can't say that I don't like them because they are delicious.
Absolutely.
I
So hey,
thought,
I got a question. So I got a
hmm
question for you guys. Um, so who are the guys out in the scene that's making a big splash? Especially not just social media, but like just making a big splash in like indie wrestling. Like who are some of the hot guys like in New York and California right now?
oh wow, I don't wow. I I believe this interview has just been turned around on us. Um, oh, good lord! Now I have to remember back to.
I'll let Scooter think for a minute, but there's a guy we did an interview not too long ago with named Christian Robinson, and I think that guy is an absolute star. And it's you will not you're going to hear from him in the next 2 to 3 years easily. Super
Perfect.
talented guy.
Nice.
There's a girl called DVN who is taking the world by storm, and God forbid you get in her way. So
Oh man.
we're looking at those people's careers.
Oh
Uh,
man, that's pretty cool.
well, when it comes to New York, and if they're in New York and they haven't made it yet, they aren't going to make it. Um, but have you have guys in New York like Blake Morris, Apollyon, uh, Willow Nightingale, Tina San Antonio, J Red. Of course, this is the same place that uh, and I trained with Alex Reynolds and John Silver of AEW, as well as Tony Nese.
Nice.
Your evil
Uh,
twin brother.
Yes, my evil twin brother. People say I look like him. A better version of him, but yeah, those are really the standouts as far as New York, because you don't really hear much about anybody really blowing up the scene anymore, unfortunately.
Nah, man. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. No, just it was just kind of refreshing to hear some names like you're throwing out there, like Alex Reynolds and oh God, there was another name you
John
said.
John Silver.
John
John Silver. Yeah, I mean those. It's really cool to hear those names.
If you actually want to take a look on YouTube, my first night as a ring announcer is actually on there, and I'm announcing a match between uh, Brittany Savage and former TNA knockout Tracy Brooks.
Nice.
And this is my first night in the business, and I wasn't supposed to be the ring announcer. I stepped up because our ring announcer wasn't showing up, and
Wow.
they decide, or at least Tracy decides, she's gonna start jumping up, bouncing up and down in front of me, trying to get me to break.
Oh, jeez. No.
And oh wait, and then she starts, and then she hugs me, and as I continue, and then all of a sudden she pulls my head into her cleavage,
Oh.
and
This is
and
great.
and that's why I have. This is why I make sure I'm never in a room with Frankie Kazarian.
I'm I'm pretty sure Frankie Kazarian is okay with that. Oh man, that's a great story. So you said that that's up online?
Yes, it is. If you search Tracy Brooks versus Brittany Savage, NYWC.
NYWC.
He's
I'm
googling
pretty
it
sure
right
that
now.
NYWC New York Wrestling
Connection
Connection.
for the WSU Spirit Championship, I believe.
Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna watch that as soon as we're done with this conversation.
And you said that you've done referee work, you did commentary, you've set up the ring. Doing the young boy jobs of pro wrestling, was there ever like a moment where you were like, aha, I kind of get this, this clicks for me, this is what I have to kind of do? Or did you kind of just figure it out when you got in the ring for the first time?
um, it like what was it as a young kid, I always like loved pro wrestling, and I had a friend who told me to try it out, and I did, and even doing ring crew, I love doing ring crew, even doing ring announcing or refereeing or being backstage or wrestling. Like I just like I loved it, like, and I still do to this day. I just it did it like it when I first got into the business and was helping out, it clicked right away. It was just like second nature. Like it was a natural thing, and I'll keep probably sticking with pro wrestling for as long as I can.
I love hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now for a new segment on the show we like to call Clay Wilson's Bizarre Adventure. Obviously you're pro wrestling. You go up and down the roads. And in wrestling, bizarre things happen. Do you have any weird or bizarre ring road stories you could tell us?
Okay, I do have a road story. I, I, I almost died.
Oh my God.
It was, yeah. So,
It's
so
got
I
dark
was, so I was on a car ride. So we're starting from St. Catharines, Ontario, which is about a half-hour drive from Lewiston, New York. Um, so we were set to drive 6.5 hours, sorry, 7 hours,
Ooh.
going all the way up to a place called Wickwemicong. Now, Wickwemicong is a reserve on Manitoulin Island. Now, Manitoulin Island, um, it's it is way up as far as Ontario goes, um, and we had a long drive. I was in a carload with three other guys. I'll mention their names. I was in the car ride with Jesse, Rex, and Andre, or sorry, John Marchand.
Did you just
So
kayfabe him?
I'm pretty well. We didn't really tell the story to anybody, but I'm just kind of like telling the story right now.
I'm joking with you. I'm ribbing you.
So so we are just getting past probably about like the 4 or 5 hour mark, and we get on the stretch of highway. It's just a single lane highway. We've got traffic oncoming, and you know we're going. Um, so we're going uphill, and as you get further up North Ontario, there's a lot of mountains. There's a lot of drops on the road and rocks. Um, and there's signs, watch out for what is it what is it, big drops. It's any time that you kind of steer off the road, there is no guardrails as the further
Mhm.
you go up North Ontario.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going like 50 foot, 100 foot drops, like just down like a big rocky
Oh my
path,
God.
like down to your death. So we had a there was a huge line of cars oncoming, and further up the road you could see a blue car trying to get past the oncoming traffic. Now we are going in. Now we're the first car going into oncoming traffic, and this car is coming down and it's trying to speed up and to try to beat the traffic, beat this long line of cars that we're passing. And this car is not leaving the oncoming lane, which is what we're on. And I'm sitting in the back seat and I'm kind of leaning over, thinking, okay, this guy's about to get back into his lane. And my friend John, who yells out to Jesse, who's driving, John yells out, "Jesse, look out!" And 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 Jesse grabs the steering wheel, and he doesn't move the steering wheel. We pretty well, he screams out bloody murder, and the car that was oncoming veered off and drove off the side of the road where there's no guardrail.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
We were about probably a full second away from coming into a head-on collision, and also right behind us was a F-150, about fully loaded, and it was right on our ass. If we would have gotten to a head-on collision, that Ford F-150 would have crushed us from behind, and I guarantee we would have all died.
wait,
So
wait. Are you saying this car went off the cliff?
yes, this car drove off the side of the drove off the road where there's no
Like,
guardrail, and we didn't see it drop, but we didn't. But when I turned back, I didn't see the car on the shoulder of the road. It it I probably guarantee you it went down that hill, and definitely that rocky drop.
Ooh.
It like we were like if he would have went back into his oncoming lane, he would have collided with the car that was that either chose not to let him in or didn't even notice that he was trying to come in. But yeah, it's definitely kind of crazy, these some of these road stories are a bit, you think some of them are like, yeah, they're hilarious, but in other cases, like, yeah, like me and my three other friends, we almost died, like going up just to do this wrestling show out in Manitoulin Island, a small, like, just a small little wrestling show that happened. And yeah, we stopped at an LCBO, which is kind of like the beer store, um for you guys, and yeah, we picked up beer, and then we just kind of chilled out for a bit because we almost got into a serious deadly accident. Oh Jesus! Oh man!
That
Yeah.
was
Anyway,
Yeah.
definitely our most intense story we've heard so far.
And I can relate to that specifically because a car accident um, has prevented me from uh, getting back in the ring. And
you had a
uh,
car accident?
yeah, about 8 some odd years ago,
Oh shit!
and
What happened?
um, I was on my way to work that morning, and I just got uh, clipped on the driver's side, and basically I was spun out so that I was facing traffic the wrong way. Um, and I saw a Mack truck coming my way. It left me with a herniated and dislocated L5 vertebrae
Ooh.
right near the tailbone. And most doctors won't even touch it for spinal fusion,
Yeah.
which would be the only logical way I would ever be able to get back in the ring. So,
Damn. Have you fully recovered from your injury?
no, no, unfortunately.
No. You get a lot of complications walking as well.
Uh, yeah, there's its bad days and its good days. Sometimes I'll be standing up straight. Next day I'll be a hunchback, and unfortunately, take it as it goes.
I'm pretty sure you got like lots of chiropractors that you've seen, eh?
Uh, well, I mean, unfortunately, the one great thing about Canada, universal health insurance.
Yeah, universal health care. Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, not exactly the way here. We just have crappy little no fault insurance that uh yeah, I did this physical therapy for a little bit. Wasn't really helping me as much as it probably should have. I didn't go to the right people, maybe, who knows, but nevertheless, moved on, and life is life.
Yeah. Sea Levy.
Speaking of the future, uh, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Um, that's a little bit steep there, James. um, well, hopefully in 5 years everything's back to normal. Um,
Oh God
uh,
willing.
re- Wrestling will go back to the way it was. Um, I hope to see Scooter in a wrestling ring.
Oh, thank you.
I hope to see you in some ring. I would love to travel to the States and probably go out to your ways in New York. And I haven't really thought about traveling to California, but I would love to go to that wrestling scene at sometime in 5 years. I would like to make more connections.
Well, if you do make
'Cause
your way down here, I will personally I'll take you around.
I appreciate it, Scooter. Thank you so much.
And if you come to California, you get to wear flipper flops everywhere. It's a delight.
That's awesome, man. Oh God. Yeah, man. I mean, I just hope for good things for everybody. Like even you guys, like for like even just 5 years. I mean, like who knows? Like maybe in 5 years, like we could all probably get together, have a poutine.
I would love that.
I
I
love
would
that.
absolutely love that. And
Abs-
what is an opponent or match that people should go out of their way that best shows off what Clay Wilson is all about?
Uh, a match. Probably. I'm probably gonna say myself. Uh, God, yeah, I've got too many people on my mind. I like just shooting from the hip right now. Probably say myself versus Lenny Lilac. Lenny has been in the business for a long time. We actually had like
I
we had a really old school match, and that was when the crowd was saying, f
I
you.
I watched that match today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the crowd
big
was saying "F you, Wilson." Yeah, it was pretty much, it was a character, a very character-esque and a very um, old school wrestling match, which is kind of like the style that I like. So I would probably say, yeah, watch Lenny Lilac versus Clay Wilson. It's if you like old school wrestling, definitely go see it. There's a drunk crowd. It's a cool crowd, and they get into it, and there's some FUs in there, and it's a it's a pretty good show.
All right, this interview has almost concluded. We have the Thunder round left, so this is a shoot from the hip type deal, and you just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready,
Oh,
Clay Wilson?
and side note, I'm going to add in a question at the end of the Slender round.
perfect.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Greatest wrestler of all time, Kurt Angle.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Worst wrestler of all time. Ooh, Jesus. Mondo.
Wait, you mean Mongo?
Sorry. Yes, I botched it.
I don't believe it. That is the second time we've heard that
That's
somebody's
true.
given. And
Oh God, oh man, I'm surprised they even let him wrestle. He was just a bumbling idiot. Oh, so bad. Just so bad. Oh my God. If you want a good laugh, just watch Mongo matches. That's it.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
My opponent?
Your opponent.
opponent.
Oh, like of any time or like now?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Your dream opponent.
Dream opponent. Oh my God. This is a lightning round. Oh Jesus. God, I want to say Kurt Angle or Rey Mysterio or Chris Benoit.
All great answers.
And
I'll
then
accept any of those.
I'm glad you didn't stick to the Canadian default of Bret Hart.
Oh, Brett's awesome. It's just I like the style of wrestling that he does. It's very technical, which is what I do. But as far as like character wise, like yeah, he's the hitman, but he didn't really excite me at all. He didn't really do anything for me. You like you know how some wrestlers like people say like, oh yeah, the Ultimate Warrior was like great and all that. Like, no, the Ultimate Warrior was energetic. Like he was a character, but he didn't really do it for me. Like you get some wrestlers, right? That just doesn't do it for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who are some wrestlers that just don't do it for you?
Yeah. I didn't see what. I mean, Warrior had charisma, but in reality, he was really a two-move guy. Guys who really didn't do it for me.
You need a minute, Scooter? I could say mine
I,
first.
I, honestly, I'd probably say Sheamus.
Sheamus, yeah, I could see why.
Guys that really didn't do it and still don't do it for me. Bobby Lashley and Brian
Yeah.
Cage, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, Brian should be in WWE in the Brock Lesnar role. But for
Oh, okay.
whatever reason, he just doesn't have the charisma of Brock Lesnar, and I don't know
Oh,
why. I don't know what prevents him from that.
mm.
And just going back to Bret Hart, I kind of felt like, Bret, as a kid, Bret Hart, yeah, he's great, whatever. But now looking back, uh, older and wiser, I could really appreciate the way he wrestled because I like that type of matches, the psychology that he put into his matches.
Yeah, he was really smart with definitely dissecting um, his opponents. Everything that he wrestled for, he wrestled with a purpose. Um, like his technical matches, even with his brother Owen, like it was absolutely incredible. But as far as a character, I didn't like his promos. They were really
Yeah.
just kind of sour, and I didn't. I prefer more of kind of like a colorful character. It's just Brett, great wrestler, just not a good not a good talker.
Alright, back on track. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
I probably come out to Grado's music.
Isn't that like a prayer for Madonna?
Yes, dude. Have you seen, dude? I have watched Grado's and dude, like I've watched Grado's matches, but his entrances are just unreal. Like he gets the hugest pops ever. The crowd goes insane for Madonna like a prayer. Oh, dude, it's so amazing. Oh, it was great, man. Not probably not a choice that you think of. What would you guys come out to?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't come out to anyone's. I'd most likely choose Motorhead, Born to Raise Hell.
That's awesome.
All the things she said, tattoo.
Oh, James.
I like that song.
All right, we're taking away your man card.
Hey, if CPB could come out to Aqua, I'm coming out to Tattoo.
Oh man, that's awesome. I've got respect for that. I like that.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
Dead. Kayfabe is irrelevant. Kayfabe is old school. It's man, it was something that was kept under wraps for a long time because people buying into wrestling and coming with the notion that it's legitimate, it was kept under wraps so that the legitimacy was protected, and so that crowds can sell out arenas. And ever since journalists and news stories ran saying like, oh my god, like wrestling is just a fad, it's fake, and I hate people using that word. It's not fake at all, man. It's a form of entertainment. I understand, like yeah, we all understand that, but like the actual what we do and perform, it's very real. But yeah, but the whole kayfabe thing, it's yeah, to me it's very old school. It's very irrelevant, I would say.
Alright. Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Squash should be it's vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
It's an inside joke on our Wrestling with Entertainment podcast.
It is an inside joke, should I ask?
With whenever a squash match happens and we get into it, it's like it's a bit, like
Our other co-host, Kaliko, I ask him, what's your favorite fruit? He says squash. But he denies that squash is actually a fruit and will fight you that it is a vegetable.
Oh, pulled a fast one on him.
But hey, you're in good company with Kaliko Yachts and DVN. Next question. New Japan wrestler Taichi's ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Sorry. Sorry, you're gonna have to say that again.
Yeah, I'll do it. Taichi, New Japan wrestler Taichi, his trunks get smaller.
It gets smaller every year.
What is the appropriate trunks to ass cheek ratio?
There should be no ass cheeks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Scooter, you wanted to add one more question before we ask the hard-hitting question everybody wants to know of us?
All right. I'm sure you get this a lot as a Canadian. Is Ryan Reynolds truly Canada's greatest national treasure?
I don't get that question a lot.
I know.
Ryan Reynolds is an actor. I don't think he's a national treasure. Actually, probably only the person right now I would say is a national treasure is Alex Trebek, who just passed away.
You know what? He took a comedy answer and gave some real heart to that. So
That's actually a really good answer.
Yes.
And the last question. Have you ever struck up a conversation about Darby Allin in a supermarket?
Struck up a conversation with Darby Allin in a supermarket?
About Darby Allin in a supermarket.
Have I ever had a conversation with Darby Allin in a supermarket?
No.
Have you ever gone up to somebody and in a supermarket and had a conversation about Darby Allin?
I've had conversations with people about Darby Allin, but not in a supermarket, and I had conversations in a supermarket, but it wasn't about Darby Allin. That was a very specific question.
It's another inside bit. We've all attempted to do some form of asking random strangers in a supermarket about Darby Allin. Don't ask how it came to be. It just
Okay. All right, I won't ask.
I'll tell you off air. And that will conclude our interview for tonight. Thank you so much, Clay Wilson, and we hope to have you on again.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me, and thanks for allowing this friendly Canadian neighbor to come down to talk to you about Poutine, our hockey, our greatest Canadian treasure, Mr. Ryan Reynolds. It's very good. It's good to talk to you guys from down south. You should come up here and pet the polar bears. They're pretty friendly.
I love that you put on that thick stereotypical Canadian accent. I love it.
I got to be honest with you guys. That accent is mostly from the East Coast, and mostly everyone in Canada kind of talks like Californians, to be honest.
Talking about the 205 to the I-95, bro.
You mean talking a boot?
Yes, it's the stuff that we talk about.
Please say you don't get into any actual like Terrence and Phillip related arguments. Like, I'm not your buddy friend. I'm not your friend, guy.
Listen here, buddy.
Where can they find Clay Wilson on social media once again?
Social media. So, I mostly use Instagram. So it's at the Clayton Wilson. Twitter, at Clay Wilson 93, and I do have Facebook. Just send me a friend request. It's not really hard to find me. Just type in Clay Wilson, and you'll see a picture of me doing waterboarding. And if you guys want, just shoot me a friend request at all.
Wait.
And
You said waterboarding. You're on a waterboard, not waterboarding somebody, right?
no, I'm on a waterboard. Scooter, you're killing me.
Sorry, I gotta go, bro. And you can find all this information in the video description down below.
Both on YouTube and Castbox. And next week we will be having on the show Mickey Phelps.
Mickey Fulp. Mickey Fulp.
Fulp.
And big news for the end of the year, none other than former WWE superstar and one half of the Headbangers. You know him as Thrasher, Glenn Ruth.
And that's
coming on.
And that will come later on in the year. We are super excited to have that pinned down. And you can find us this Saturday, as always, on YouTube and Castbox for the main show. We'll be reviewing all things Survivor Series, maybe some New Japan as well. Until then, you can follow me on Twitter at JamesJ993. And where can they find Scooter Dust?
Always, you can find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust and holding it down for the UNB Wrestling Network at UNBS Wrestling.
For our really, very special guest, Clay Wilson, for Coleco Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.